Marco, how are you?
Episode. How are you, Erica and Tony?
I'm
I am
fantastic.
fantastic. I am fantastic. This is the month of love, and so that's why I'm wearing red. I'm wearing red.
Well, I'm a little blue.
You're a little
You're a
blue.
little blue.
There you go. So, Marco, I'm curious, do they celebrate, um, you know, um, Valentine's Day, the month of love in Portugal?
Yes, we do, and it's curious. It's this. Well, I think we imported all the nice holidays from America. Like
Okay, okay,
Valentine's, like Halloween, and everything. I don't
okay,
know. Maybe one day we are celebrating here St. Patrick's, even though it's from Ireland. Maybe, who knows? I
okay.
love green. I love green. But the funny thing about this is that in Brazil, which is an ex-colony from Portugal, they celebrate the Boyfriend's Day in the day of Saint Anthony, which
Okay.
is a Portuguese saint, also known. He was the wedding practitioner. It's the right word.
Wedding practitioner?
It's kind of the how do I say? He's the saint who is responsible about weddings and love and everything.
Oh, okay. So like our Cupid.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna say Cupid.
so,
Again,
because, for instance, here in Saint Anthony's Day, it's in Portuguese is Santo Antonio.
Okay.
It's a day for weddings. Well, last year not. I think this one also neither. It's the and there's the oh my God, the Saint Anthony's weddings, which are a very known thing here in Portugal, in Lisbon, because Saint Anthony is from Lisbon and is where he celebrated. In Oporto, for instance, Saint John's.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's this thing. Brazil celebrates the day, the boyfriend's day, with a Portuguese saint and not with Valentine's.
Okay. Okay. Look, I'll take it. I will take it. So February is the month of love where you are as well. I really wonder if that's worldwide. Has it caught on worldwide? I'm curious.
I think most of the countries which embraces our culture, I think,
Mm-hmm. You
and
think so?
also uh, Americans, of course.
You know what? I so much of American culture sets the pulse for the world, which is one reason why Epic Understanding has honestly gone global and worldwide. We have really investigated a lot of important issues, one being diversity, equity, and inclusion, of course. And I'm wondering, Marco, what has been the effect? What has been the effect of what's going on in America in your area?
Well, we talk a lot about it also. I think what happens in America somehow rules everything else. I think
Uh-huh.
mostly here in the Eastern community, if you can
Mm-hmm.
say this culture.
Okay.
And yes, we were worried about the elections, of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we had also people from both sides. I'm I'm on the the president, the actual president side, and yes, and we also we had these situations about the situation that triggered this epic understanding conversation. Yes, we are aware of that because we also have uh, people who came from Africa on mostly Lisbon. Here in the north, we don't have so many people who came from Angola, Cabo Verde, and those African countries which we were before.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's kind of obligation. When someone comes to your country to have a better life, he deserves to have a better life. If it's a criminal, please send him to the country they came from, and it doesn't matter if he comes from wherever. If it's not, if there's a saying here in Portugal who say "Seja bem-vindo quem vier por bem," which means be welcome those who come to with goodwill.
I like that. We welcome
kind
those
of this.
who come with goodwill.
And for instance, there's a situation in a city. It's not far from here, around 200 kilometers. Well, in our scale, it's far because we are a very small country.
Okay. Yes.
It's funny. It's funny when I speak with people from the United States and they say, "Oh, for instance, one city, I think it's close to Tony, Houston." And I was talking with someone. "Oh, I live in Houston. It's a small town." And I asked, "How many people there?" I think he said 2 or 3 million people. And I say, well, it's 1/3 of Portuguese population.
Wow.
Lisbon, which is our biggest city, is around 500,000. So you see the perspective. For instance, if you want to go from the north of Portugal, the very close to Spain, where I live, till the south to the other point of, it's around 650 kilometers.
Okay.
Let's put it 700.
Okay.
I think with that travel, you go to the next state in the United States.
I got it. I got it.
It's around 7 hours traveling by car.
Wow.
I'm so glad you said it's around 7 hours traveling by car, because my American mind was trying to, calculate the metric system. Oh my
God. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, so listen, that has not caught on. That has not spread worldwide. The American way of measuring has not caught on.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was usually there are some programs from these boys and girls from African countries which speak Portuguese to come here in Portugal to study. It's very normal, and I think it's good. And there was a student from Cabo Verde, which is an amazing island in the Atlantic on Africa. And he came and he had a fight. I think it was not a racism problem. I think it was because he was speaking. I'm not sure. He was speaking with a girl which was the lady of someone else and something, I don't know. And they had this fight, and he felt, and I think he hit with the head in something, and he passed away after some days in coma. And for me, I feel sad because of this, because I like people who come to my country, have nice experience here. I want that they will be, and even Portuguese people, of course. But I like that people are well treated when they come to your country. And that's how I think. It doesn't matter if he's from Cabo Verde, the United States, Brazil, Ukraine. For instance, there was also a case with a Ukrainian man who came here. I think he was illegal, and he was killed by, I don't know if it was the people from, because we have a service who is watching this illegal people coming into the country, which is Frontiers and Foreign Services. And it was a very dark situation, when everybody's covering everybody, and after there, but also there are so many. I don't know. I don't. There are so many weird clues in the table, Let's see what happens, because it was very sad. He was trying to come into Portugal. His family were in Ukraine. He had a wife and 2 small boys, small kids, and the boys don't know why his father passed away.
Mm.
They don't know the right reasons. Also, we have to give oh my god, how do I say it? They need to pay a big amount of money to the widow because of this
Oh,
situation. And it's, for me it's very sad because I don't like people being treated this way in my country. I think it's we have a lovely country.
mhm.
Usually Portuguese people are very friendly, very they like to there's this saying that we like to receive others with open arms.
Uh-huh.
So I don't like when things are not this way.
Hmm. That is really amazing. So you are watching Epic Understanding Family. We are worldwide and we welcome you wherever you are, whether it is Portugal, New Zealand, Australia, America, Nigeria. We are welcoming you. Spain. Okay, yes, Spain. Wherever you are, we welcome you and we love you. We want to know your perspective. And we're very curious of how things are growing and changing in your particular area. The fact of the matter is, the reason why we are having a worldwide pandemic is because we're not isolationists anymore. You know, there are very few places here on the earth that doesn't who is not hugely impacted by another, whether it's financially, health wise, social. So basically, the whole social economic connection is worldwide. And so, Tony, I want to bring you here in on this because you have really taken this connection to a personal mission. You know, the amount of time you spend on mentoring just really should be celebrated. And quite honestly, you don't care where they're from. You know, so can you tell us a little bit about your mentees?
Well, first, I want to thank you and Marco for bringing me in on Epic Understandings. And, I have to say that, the platform has really just excelled with me and my mentees. As you say, I have mentees from across the world, from Africa to New Zealand to Ireland to the UK, you name it. And it's just amazing that these people reach out to me. And the thing about it is, we all have a common goal. And roughly right now, I would say at the end of last year, I had 300 mentees. Right now, I'm sitting around 345,
Wow.
believe it or not. And
Just that? So few?
just, yeah, just 345. It's not a big deal. But I take the passion of education very seriously, and that's what mentoring is about. It's about education. It's also about empowerment, which is something we're going to talk about today. And it's also, being that advisor and a friend and a relationship. And I was just actually having a conversation with my son, and it's so funny. We were talking about different things, and yes, even as a father, I'm still his mentor. So he knows when I have on the father hat, he knows when I have on the mentor hat. And he said to me, he goes, sometimes I speak of things and they said, it's like we're in a relationship. I said, because we are. That's what this is. This is a relationship. So for me, just the satisfaction of knowing that I'm helping people. And the only thing, and I don't charge for this at all. The only thing that I ask of my mentees is to pay it forward. When you have the chance, pay it forward. Be a human lighthouse for other people. And Epic Understanding has only just elevated more conversations that needs to be had, and it actually helps me to reinvent my mentoring program so that I can have those uncomfortable conversations with my mentees, and not only just my mentees but with my mentors, because you're forever a student, and I have roughly 6 mentors of my own that I'm able to turn to and say, okay, I need some help with X, Y, and Z. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, and that's what Epic Understanding has done for me and my mentee program.
Wow, that is fantastic, Tony. I am just my heart is swelling up with joy. You said something that touched me very deeply, a lot of things, but what I'm going to hold on to is to be a lighthouse for someone else. Epic Understanding has spent a lot of time trying to be a lighthouse for the world. One of the issues that we really focus on, of course, is DEI, and that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. My question to you is that focus different when it comes to women's empowerment?
Absolutely. That is definitely a focus. And as we know for sure, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 didn't truly include women's rights as well. So when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion and women empowerment, it's a much needed topic. And in addition to that, it's a topic that right now I read some information on it, and at the pace that the world is going, women will only catch up to their male counterparts 112 years from now at the pace that we are going. And I'll definitely share those statistics with you, but not to have the equity part in there, especially around women, then we're
Mhm.
still doing a disjustice. So we're not diversified. There's no equity, and there's definitely not any inclusion if we, as colleagues, as men, are not empowering women. And colleagues of women should be empowering other women as well.
That's so important. Let us take the time to welcome a world renowned expert on this subject, Dr. Hazel Herrington. She has gone global with her mission of women's empowerment. Dr. Harrington, we are so fortunate to have you here with us. She is worldwide, so I'm not quite sure what country she's in right now. Where are you gracing us from today?
Good morning, Coach Love, and good morning, Tony Alexander and Marco Nova. It's such a pleasure to be on this platform today talking about women empowerment and how we can equip and empower women to become economically independent, wholly sufficient. And we're also talking about gender equality, which is one of my most passionate topics to talk about. I am here in the sunny Gold Coast. And it's 3 a.m. this morning, and I'm excited to still be getting up at 3 a.m. and talking about this passionate topic.
You know what? I know you're passionate because when you get up at 3 a.m. to share to share your voice and your heart and your mission with the world, that is wonderful. You know, Dr. Harrington, what is the biggest challenge, or I'm just going to say the most frequent challenge that you are running into in helping empower women?
Thank you so much, Coach Love, for that excellent question. As a woman doing business globally, and unfortunately, we are first judged by our gender before we even open our mouths. I speak on a lot of global platforms, and sadly, last year, 2021, in Africa, we still had the panel when it comes to speakers. 90% of the panel speakers were male until we started to do something about it and speak up about it. I've had situations where I'm extremely uncomfortable. I'm the only woman when we have in meetings before the event. You've got the men discussing, and even sometimes if you try and speak, some of them are even wondering, what are you doing there? Because of culture, they're so used of dominating in this area, especially in Africa. I've been in situations whereby I'm in a group and we're discussing issues that affect communities and education. And I've been bullied and put down as a woman if I try and speak up. I've seen, I've seen women put in leadership positions and they still don't have a voice. They just a front. And these situations need to change. And not only that, I've recently I had to leave an organization because of discrimination against black women because I'd listed black women as speakers at an event, and they were
Mhm.
offended that I
Oh,
had listed these women, and they were asking me questions about, oh, where does this black woman come from, and really digging into history because, excuse me, black women can't speak on global platforms. Black women, I mean, don't have anything to offer to the world. So we have a serious problem, Coach Love, and I'm so excited that you invited me to this platform. We are still a long way from solving this problem.
oh my goodness. As you say that, my heart just begins to melt because America, we have a black female vice president, and her culture, her background is actually mixed. She is Asian and black, so she's just a true woman of color. And I wonder what that represents. What does that say to the world? Have you had any feedback on your end?
Oh, wow. Yeah. And congratulations to America for actually having their first female black president. We're so excited here in Australia. And what it represents is that things are changing. Things are
Mhm,
changing. And, in our excitement, we're now looking at the developing countries. What does that mean for us? Well, what it means is that, okay, she's paved the way. She's paved the
mhm,
way. What are we women going to do about it in developing countries? She's an example. She's an
mhm,
example. But I think the most important thing is that in her office, yes, she's going to represent America. I'd love to see what she's going to do for the developing countries
mhm,
in Southern
mhm,
Africa, especially. I'm originally from Zimbabwe. Some of the policies that she has the power to change,
mhm,
because
mhm,
Coach Love, Alexander, Marco Novo. The reality is we've had the United Nations change a lot of laws, and there's a lot of yes, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and oh yes, we're gonna do it. And
mhm,
really and truly, when you get on the ground, it's not happening. And I'll give you an example when it comes to the distribution of land for women in Africa. Women, when it comes to sustaining their families, providing a basic income for their families, the priority for them is to go into farming and agriculture.
mhm,
Now, what's happening is that still in these African countries, land ownership, most of the land is owned by men. Most men, when they apply for loans to farm on these farms, they get access to these loans. And unfortunately, for women, 65% of men are getting the majority of the loans. And we talk about 45% are going to, sorry, 40%
mhm,
are going to the women.
mhm.
And now, is it true? I mean, Tony, if you can answer this, or Marco Nova, why is it that you'd rather give a loan to a male counterpart than a woman because you think the male is more able to pay off the loan?
It's and I'll take that. It's honestly that unconscious bias. Because when you look at CEOs and you look at COOs and CFOs, then all you see is the white male counterparts. So these are the people that are doing business well. These are the people that are most successful. So the story and the narrative begins itself with the simple fact that we're going to trust giving $1 million as a startup to this particular person versus a female. And one of the things that one of my mentors used to be or used to say actually is it's our children cannot aspire to be what they cannot see.
Yeah,
So I take that same aspect and I say, okay, if you don't see an African American COO, or if you don't see one with these certain kinds of credentials, then society tells us then the norm is there shouldn't be. If you don't get the praises of the female population that are running multi-million dollar companies or even small businesses as entrepreneurs and being successful, well, society doesn't toot the horns on those. They don't don't pat the back. They don't get to make the cover of Forbes. So the
Yeah.
more that we don't expose that, it's going to
Mhm.
be more difficult for women to get into that space to get things such as loans or even get to that C-suite. And then even when they get to that C-suite, they have to prove themselves 10 times as harder. And I'll even add to this. But recently I was speaking with Coach Love on one particular COO, CEO, who is now the CEO of a Fortune 500 company and the largest pharmacy global company. And while all that is fine, the company has been around 119 years. This is the first time a person of color has taken the reins, and especially this is the first time a woman. And so, definitely I had the opportunity to call her up and congratulate her. But in the background, I always feel like, why can't females or women be handed over a company that is in good condition? Because that's
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're in a turnaround situation, and we want to say, well, we gave her a chance. We gave her 2 years. We gave her a $25 million signing bonus. We gave her all the tools she needed to be successful. So it's just like buying a car that is vintage and deciding that you're gonna put all leather seats and soup it up, but under the hood, the engine isn't any good. and
Yeah.
and that and
Mhm.
that's what's happening, unfortunately, in corporate America. And my fear is we're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to see these white male counterparts step down, and they're going to put a person of color in there. My other fear is that there are going to be so many DE&I roles, and I'm sure if you're like I am, I'm just scrolling through, Indeed and Monster and LinkedIn and seeing all of these different DE and I roles. But for me, that is just another way to keep people of color and especially women out of the C-suite. So, hey, we
Mhm.
gave you a D&I role. So the D&I role in most organizations kind of falls under HR, and those roles do not lead to COO. They don't lead to CEO. So we got to be very woke about what's happening here in these situations. And I know I might have said more than you wanted, but that was just a good question for me, and it was on my heart. So
Well, I'm really glad that you touched on several different points. One of them has to do with the idea of women being given the opportunity to take over an organization that is in good condition. And so this brings about my connection, the connection between your work, Tony, and Dr. Herrington's work. Her mission is to have female empowerment, and your mission, or one of your missions, is mentoring. So, in my heart, I would love to see 100 top white male CEOs seek out 100 women of color, Black women all over the world to empower them. And I would like to see what difference that would make, because unfortunately, people mentor people who look like them. Now, that's not your case, Tony. I mean,
they're all everywhere.
yes, you are Mr. Worldwide Diversity. Unfortunately, most people certainly don't have 300 plus mentees, or um, they don't seek out to mentor people who are not like them. Quite frankly, it's the opposite. They say, oh, that young girl is just like me, or oh, that young boy is just like me. So I want to see him succeed. I see myself in them. And so we have to go past the exterior and go for the mission, not just of our country, but of the world. We are together. We have one big rock. We are here together.
Well, if you allow me,
Yeah.
I want to bring something to the table because I have this experience. Last week, I was talking with someone about the guest I bring to my show, and I was saying, well, I'm a little sad because I didn't have the chance to bring someone from Africa to join my show. And then he answered me, "Oh, I know a girl from Kenya, which is amazing." And then he gave me his her contact. I went to her. I booked a call with her, and she's amazing. She's leading a movement in Africa,
Mhm.
uh, called mostly on Twitter, is Africa Tweet Chat or something.
Okay.
She's an amazing lady, and she's 25. I so full of energy, and I think, oh my God, who is this lady? Who is? And she will, please be aware, she will be on my show soon.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's on the 23rd.
Okay. Okay.
It's
I'll be
on
watching.
23rd, and it's amazing. And for instance, she has a huge amount of following on Twitter, on Instagram. She's a cute lady. She's very, and with so much energy. And after I was speaking with her and listening to her projects and everything, I felt so many things of Africa there. There,
Mhm.
that sense of community that African people have that I don't see anywhere else, because I think white people are so. We take so many time looking at our belly buttons, that's it. That's how we used to say here in Portugal. And we it's always about me. And I think about this Ubuntu concept, which is something very amazing for me. It's amazing. It doesn't matter if I get that first. If my community, my others don't get the point as same time as I do. So I want to bring this to the table, because I felt amazed by this lady, Janet Machuca. She's from Nairobi, and I say, oh my God, I think we still have some hope in humanity with ladies like Janet, which are developing something which could be very helpful, and they are bringing new ideas, new things to the table.
Oh my goodness, thank you. You have me really excited for this upcoming show, so I'll definitely be watching. I want to welcome our friends from Facebook and LinkedIn, YouTube. Thank you for sending us your questions. The overall sentiment is something needs to be done, and that's absolutely right. We're going to discover or unwrap some things that can be done with Dr. Hazel Herrington, and use her expertise. The question that's on the table right now, Dr. Harrington, is how can those countries or people who want to invest in women that might live in Zimbabwe or Nigeria, or just countries where women aren't well represented, how can we partner with them to help finance their dreams?
Yeah, what they can do is invest in education. That's the most important thing, because an educated, empowered woman is an empowered community. There's a famous quote, and I mean, everybody's saying, an empowered woman is an empowered community. No, an educated one.
Yeah.
Because if she's not educated, if she's not equipped with the entrepreneurial know-how, technological know-how, there's nothing that can be changed. Because we
Mhm.
need women to be empowered so that they can become a voice in their community. How can you become a voice when you're not confident and you're not educated? That's the most important thing. I mean, if you look at developing countries, you've got one university in Zimbabwe, in the main in the main city. I mean, and then you've got one technological university. The majority of the women are entrepreneurs, and they just starting businesses with no experience, which is what I did. I had 3 businesses, and I just went out there as a serial entrepreneur. I had a restaurant. I had a, yeah, and I applied to uni, and they just didn't have space. They just could not meet the demand. So what do? We just start doing our own thing. Start my own business.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And we just need to, invest more. We have a lot of people that have, that buying power, that capacity to invest in education. So that is the most important thing. I wanted to touch on something you mentioned earlier when you said people like me. Oh my goodness, I was like just burning to just speak after you say that. We need to stop this idea that when you are referring me to people in business, that you only want to refer me to Black people. I get highly offended by that. And I have to give kudos and I want to congratulate Netflix. Netflix, if you're watching, you are doing a good job. They are changing the paradigm. They are changing things. I mean, look at the movies, the lead roles. Our children, my daughter got an 8-year-old daughter. Let me tell you, her mindset is going to change because that's my next answer. That if we can invest in technology, invest in media. I mean, and because it gives people a paradigm shift in the way that they think. I'm amazed at women and that are going out there and creating black dolls because it's the mind that needs to change. You've got to change the way people think. And I mean, every day I'm watching Netflix, I make sure that I get my daughter, when it comes to shows that obviously for her age, and I make sure she watches because these things have changed. Snow White is white only. Growing up, all these fairy tales, everybody's white and the Black people always get killed early in the movies. Come on, man. you know? And so they grow up thinking there's something wrong with me and there's no black dolls. And we've got to be combing the blondies and we combing their hair because there's something wrong with our nappy hair.
Absolutely. So, in empowering someone else, it's like, I'm going to call it the older sibling syndrome. Okay, I've been here all along and now you want to come and take my toys. Now, why would I say that? I say that because there is this notion of white male grievance, and as if something is being taken away from them. So in this era of empowerment and growth, there is this notion and undertone that something is being taken away, or there is a devaluing of white men. How do you think we can approach this and bring some understanding that this is growth and not dethroning?
Can I speak on that real quick, Erica?
Please do, yes.
Okay. So I want to actually just give an example of that, what you said about white male grievance. So I'm not sure how many are familiar with mayor of Paris. And the mayor of Paris actually hired 6 highly qualified females for her cabinet. The city of Paris fined her $20,000 because she had an all-female cabinet. Now, prior to this administration that she had, now mind you, 6 new females and 3 males. Prior to that, the previous term, she had 7 males and 2 females. So to show you the white grievance there, it was okay when she had 7-2. But when she then went out and she hired 6 qualified, highly qualified, I'm going to put, looking at their resumes, females for the position, it became an issue. And it blew up so bad that the only thing that Paris could do was say, you know what, let's just waive the fine this time. No one said, yeah. No one said, let's get to the root of the problem and why do we even have this in place? They said, we're going to waive the fine this time. And I give kudos to the
Wait a
mayor.
minute, did you say this time?
Yeah, this time. Which means it's going to happen again if she keeps hiring highly qualified females, right? So, so I'm sitting there like this, like, what is happening here on national news, right? And so I Google it just to make sure, and it was the case. But the thing about it is, the mayor didn't stop there. She goes, no, it's not this time. She's pushing forward, which is still in the courts now, but she feels it's a rule that needs to be remove, because they have a percentage of females and a percentage of males that can only go into these cabinet positions. Her stance is there has been highly qualified females in Paris for years. However, America America set the tone and said, you know what? We can have women of power in these positions. And she had to look within herself and say, okay, am I part of the problem or am I part of the solution? So she became part of the solution and said, okay, these 6 women are highly qualified for this position. Therefore, I'm going to appoint them to these positions. So what I wanted to say on that, as the more that I read and researched on it, the grievances were coming from white males. That was the grievance. It was, why did a woman get the position over me? One of the
Wow.
actual cabinet members actually resigned. He resigned. So it goes to show, as we talked about earlier, America does kind of set the tone and the culture for things to be able to happen, but also that white male grievance. We feel like something is being taken for us. Those 6 positions were supposed to be for white males. No, they were supposed to be for the most qualified candidate, and that happened to be females. Then that's who gets the position. So I just wanted to share that story.
Oh my goodness, I am so glad you did. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, this is an amazing conversation. If you're watching on replay, you probably have the opportunity to do a little research on this matter. Please do look it up and share your solutions, because this is a real issue. There is no one that's trying to take the toy. We're not trying to take our big brother's toy. We're trying to expand the vision, expand the pie, and be included. That's what's going on. We're trying to be included. So, Dr. Herrington, there is a push in America, not a big push, but a growing rumble where Americans are beginning to invest in small businesses across the world in underdeveloped areas, particularly in women. What has been your exposure and experience with this?
I find that investing in women's business is very important right now, because I'll go back to women being able to access loans. But besides also investing in women's small businesses, it's also investing in their inventions. I've seen a lot of women, especially in Africa. Oh my goodness, the inventions, the innovations that are coming up are just so amazing. But no one's paying attention. I have to commend Google in terms of them going into Africa and opening innovation hubs for the youth, but they're neglecting the women. Women have something to say. Women have something to offer the world in terms of technology, innovation, and yeah, they need to pay attention in that area. And so I'm looking forward to seeing more investors investing not only in small business but in new inventions, innovations, and technology. Congratulations to the women in Africa that are also spearheading the women in tech. This is something amazing. I'll just tell you a short story. When I was in Africa, I had a restaurant and I started empowering women in my restaurant, running motivational workshops. It then led to business workshops. And I had one lady, a scientist, and she created a hair product that makes women's hair grow fast within 3 months. And
What?
she was she was just experimenting. And I was just blown away. And I just said to her, do samples, take it to the hairdressers. And she would take the samples, but she just didn't have the capital, to just make it bigger. And sadly, I'm not sure where she is right now, because she lacked the support. She didn't go ahead with that project. But oh my gosh, that's something that still breaks my heart, And so, yeah, I'll leave you that story.
That is wonderful. And Dr. Herrington and Tony, both of you guys have provided a plethora for information. And you are right. Technology is the leveling of the playing field. It is the thing that is going to allow people not to just depend on the people with the exact same beliefs as them, but people who have a worldwide vision and worldwide finances and an understanding of how financing work and who can leverage a different mentality for success. This is the first time that women's empowerment, Black empowerment, and people of color empowerment have kind of just met all at once without a barrier. In America, there has been several attempts to where Black people have tried to thrive. One of them being Black Wall Street, and it was physically destroyed. It was burned to the ground, and hundreds upon hundreds of Black men were killed, in the streets without account, and women too, but they really went out after the men. I said all that to say this: we are at a period in time where it cannot be burned down. It cannot be destroyed because it is not physical. You would have to destroy the world in order to destroy the mission. So the time is now for success and for us to come together. Yes. Dr. Herrington, we are wrapping up. I hate that we have to go so soon, everyone. Do you have any parting words for us, Dr. Herrington?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Kamala Harris for making history. And like I said, I'd love to see what she's going to do in the developing countries. We are here to assist her as well. And I'd like to thank the gentlemen that are empowering women. I'd also like to make a suggestion. I have an amazing, white, powerful male mentoring me, and he doesn't have a problem with empowering and mentoring a Black woman. And he always says that I should have also been part of the Black Panther series. And I was like, his name is Martin Mangello from the U.S. Presidential Service Center. You need to have him on your show. And I think also, Coach Love, that we need to involve more white males like you've done, inviting Marco. So I'd like to see him also on your show. I mean, he's got a lot to say and offer. Let's follow through on getting white males to empower 100 women of color. I'd love to be part of that.
Yes.
Let's continue that conversation after. And if you're a powerful white male watching this, please get in touch with Coach Love. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. And let's see what happens on this journey empowering 100 Black powerful women. And thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. And I'll just give the audience a little bit of history. Marco and I are actual partners. This is his platform. We are on the Marco Navarro Network.
Novo, again.
No, oh, God. Marco Novo Network. Anyway, so just to say this, we are on his network, and we are a living embodiment of what we are asking the world to do. He is in one country, I am in another. We are on vastly different time zones, and we are partnering together as much as we can. So he has given me his knowledge. I have brought my talents to the table, and poof, it is magic. He is a technological genius. I am so thankful for him. He makes this magic happen. And so that is what it is. You do not have to really go out of your zone in order to find a Black woman or a woman of color to partner with. You need only this: an open heart, an open mind, and excitement for what is yet to come. Because I guarantee you, the best is yet to come if we work together.
And by the way, I think I have a color too. I'm not transparent.
No,
Yeah.
no, my friend. But I will tell you what I see most in you is your honor and your heart of gold. I know that is what I see most in you. Thank you so much, Marco.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. I think maybe the next one I can bring also. I need to throw the invitation to Janet because I think she can bring a lot of to this show also, and maybe having Hazel again because
Yeah.
I think one of the main problems with this is the fear. I think when you have something for so many times, when you see that someone may have which has the same rights, the same intelligence, the same everything as you, maybe a kind of a more dark skin or something,
Hmm.
you get afraid because you have it for all the time, and now I can lose it. I think it's Robin Sharma in one of his books said that almost, if not everything we do, mean things we do, it's because we are scared.
Oh, yes, you are so right.
And
You
maybe
are so right.
I think I'm a believer that you're nobody's a threat to me if I do the best I can do.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. All I can say is thank you, Marco Novo, for allowing
Oh,
us
you did it
on
well.
your
Yes.
network. Yes. Thank you, Marco. And thank you, Tony Alexander, for just continuing to empower people and being a lighthouse, yes, for your mentees and us. And thank you, Dr. Hazel Herrington. Oh my gosh, you are a true blessing and an inspiration. I'm looking forward to continuing our relationship in this conversation. Have a great time, everyone. Thank you all over the world for joining us. Bye bye.
Right.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.